I was not impressed with either team.
Okay.
And I think Florida State's depth is a concern going future because a lot of people got hurt during the game, on both sides of the ball. And Florida State's rushing defense was alarmingly bad.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking at their schedule. I think they'll beat Boston College. Boston College might be the worst team in the ACC. Wake Forest, I think that's an L. NC State, I think that's an L. Clemson, that's an L for sure, or most likely an L. They'll beat Georgia Tech. Syracuse looked better against Louisville than Florida State did against Louisville, so for currently that's an L. They'll probably beat Louisiana, but Louisiana is a good group in 5 team, so we'll give Florida State the win. And then they play Florida, that'll probably be an L. So it's possible they only win 2 games the rest of the year and finish it off at 6-6. Or win the next, or 3 wins and be 7-5. I think 6-6, 7-5 is currently the state of Florida State.
Okay. I can't disagree with that. I am a little bit more optimistic about their performance tonight and see it a little bit better than you do. But your criticisms are valid. They couldn't stop the 2 running backs who are the 3rd and 4th string running backs. And Malik Cunningham could do whatever he wanted. And I understand he's a tremendous athlete, and I understand that he does that on occasion to anybody he plays, but he couldn't get tackled by anybody. Nobody could tackle him. And it wasn't all just him running in the open field where it's extremely difficult to tackle somebody of his capability, but he's like back in the pocket dodging guys, and just nobody could tackle. They couldn't tackle running backs. It just, the defensive rush performance was pretty bad. And against the pass, though, they were pretty good in the secondary and the underneath coverage, breaking up passes, making plays on the ball. They need Jordan Travis. Tate Rodemaker, I give him a lot of credit for playing as well as he did. First time he's played in crunch time, and he generally delivered. He made a couple bad mistakes, but he delivered in the end. So, like I said, for a team that's addressing issues, you'd rather address those issues and win the games than address the issues while you're losing games, because it builds confidence and you can continue just to get better and address issues. That's where they're at.
Yeah, and there was some positive things to take away from Florida State. Even with all the injuries, they came out with a win, a scrappy win. Number 14 for Florida State, that wide receiver.
Yes.
He was the most dominant player out there on the field.
John Wilson. Yep.
Yeah, he was a complete beast. So that is a positive. He is a good player.
He transferred from the Pac-12, no less.
Hey, he's a good player. You got to call out good players when they're out there bowling like that. He had, 7 catches, 149 yards, and 2 touchdowns. That's a good stat line regardless of who you're playing. But I think maybe the Florida State, it's been a while since they've been 3-0, and I understand that they should have their chest out. They should be hyped and excited. But I think they should also, tone it back. I don't think 9-3, 10-2 is realistic at this current moment.
Yeah, I don't think they're playing like a 9-3 or 10-2 team, but I do think teams change throughout the year, and they have an opportunity. Again, they're winning the games while they're improving. So if they continue to improve, they can get better. And yeah, they could be 1-2 right now easily, but they're not. They found a way to win those 2 games. And they clearly were the better team on that night against LSU. They should have won that game. They almost blew it, but they should have won that game. Now, this game was a toss-up, but they missed 2 field goals. If they're going to be playing these kind of games, they better get their field goal kicker straight, because he missed 2 makeable field goals. So they can't have that as well.
Well, I don't know how much we currently know about LSU, because the only games they've played is against Florida State and Southern. So it could be possible that LSU is just a bad football team.
Yeah, they're not that bad. They have too much talent to be bad.
Okay.
They're not bad.
Dysfunctional. They'll be a dysfunctional
Oh,
team.
yeah, maybe that.
I think they're pretty talented, but I think they're going to lose a lot of
Yeah,
games that they
extremely
shouldn't have
talented.
to because of that
Probably.
dysfunction.
Yeah, but Florida State beat a very talented roster.
Oh, you got to give them credit for that. I mean, that was a good win.
LSU is a top 6 or 7 team in the country in terms of talent.
Yeah, but we don't play the games on paper. We play the games on the gridiron, Mark. So, and that's
But
what counts.
the games on paper do generally translate to the field.
How'd that work out for Texas A&M?
Yeah, I didn't say it was a perfect formula, but I said it generally translates.
Oh, and Mark, this was a kind of a disappointing result for me because if Kentucky does go 11-1, I
Yeah.
kind of want our strength of schedule to be higher. And if
Yeah.
Louisville keeps losing
Yeah.
football games like this, it's gonna really hurt us in the long run if
Yeah,
we're
you would
picking
think.
pairs.
Yeah, you would think that maybe Louisville could be 3-0 right now instead of 1-2, but that's what it is.
Yeah, I don't. Do you think Louisville makes a bowl game?
I'd have to really dissect their schedule, but they still have NC State and Clemson. They've lost 2. That gets them to 4 losses. I don't know who they play in the other division. They got to play Kentucky. That gets them to 5. Maybe not. I'm saying right now that probably not.
Okay, let me pull it. They play Boston College, Virginia, South Florida, Pittsburgh, Wake, James Madison, and Clemson, NC State, Kentucky.
5 more losses, 5-7. No, they're done. Satterfield's on the hot seat, or maybe he's gone.
Ooh, interesting. I heard Jeff Brom's name. He's from Louisville. I believe he was an alumnus there. Any chance Jeff Brom gets the job?
Quarterback at Louisville. Yeah, that's pretty much a lateral move, right? If you have no ties to either university, Purdue, Louisville, which one's a better job? It's the same job. It just depends on how you evaluate the university and what they're going to do for you and how much money they're going to pay you and where you want to live. But for him, that's his alma mater. So that's a possibility.
Okay, and I'm looking for a Marshall size upset this week.
Yeah.
The game I'm looking forward to where I think it would surprise people is Texas Tech at NC State.
I like that one. Yeah.
Do you think there's any other games that could be like that, or?
Well, to your point, we had 4 of them last week. We had 4 at least 17-point underdogs win. That's crazy. So you got to think we're going to get at least 1. We usually get 1, not 4.
Yeah, it should have been 5 with Texas as well.
Yeah, good point. Should have been, Texas. Oh my goodness. It'll be interesting if we're looking back on that game and saying, yeah, that was the beginning of Texas having a great season, them almost beating one of the 3 best teams in the country. Or we're going to look back on it and say they drained themselves and gave it all they had, and then they went back to being Texas and they went 6-6. Where are we going to go for another one? Well, Oklahoma, Nebraska. That would be my game.
Okay. That would be interesting. I mean, if that does happen, do you think that would say a lot about Scott Frost?
Yes.